Thank you so much for joining us here at the Town of Islip Brentwood Recreation Center. A little different than what normally goes on here, but important nonetheless. This morning I'm joined with Ruth Hennessey, who's the president of Good Samaritan Hospital. Ruth, thank you so much for being here. Tom Owens, who's the commissioner of the town's Department of Public Works, Recreation, Cultural Affairs, and Public Works. Public Works. Also from the town of Islip, from Public Safety and Emergency Management, Tony Prudenti. Tony, where are you? You are there. And from the CDA, we have Jay Bowers, the Executive Director, Julie McGibbon, who is the Assistant Director, and Bob Curry, who is the Director of Affordable Housing. And also we have members of their board, which, these are volunteers that try to do the right thing about getting the funds that they get through the federal government into the community. And Debbie Kavanaugh, who does double duty as president of the CI Coalition of Good Neighbors, and Manny Troach, who also does double duty, volunteers as a member of the Brentwood Fire Department. So, community service through and through. We thank you so very, very much. And certainly my partner on the town board, who's just always so supportive of any of these initiatives, and that's John Cochran, Councilman Cochran. Thank you, John, for joining us. So, as we already know, COVID cases are spiking across the country. And I have a list here of the numbers from Newsday today every day. With the morning coffee, I check the numbers. And we have seen this throughout. Even when the numbers went down, the communities of Brentwood, North Bay Shore, Central Islip, the numbers, were still higher than they were. They never hit zero. Today, Brentwood, 16.43 was the daily increase. And that's troubling. That's troubling. That number just seems to be going up and up. So, what are we going to do about it? And that's why we're here today. Recent news of 2 highly effective vaccines certainly is promising and encouraging. And then this morning, I saw the report on the home testing kit. That looks like that's going to be great. But we have to remain diligent until they're made widely available. The colder temperatures of fall and winter are here. Today, I think we're setting a record. So naturally, human nature, people want to go inside, return to indoor activities, and that's, unfortunately going to see us having numbers spike. While we understand that we want to be with our loved ones, especially during the holidays, it is not worth the risk of contracting COVID-19. Spending a holiday together in 2020 could result in someone not being around in 2021, and no one wants that. The hamlet of Brentwood, as I said, has been identified by the New York State Department of Health as a hotspot for COVID-19. And due to this designation, increased testing and tracing of the community within and surrounding Brentwood is a much needed preventative health measure. The town of Islip and Good Samaritan Hospital have partnered to open this free COVID testing site right here in Brentwood with federal funding made available through the Islip CDA. Funding of this kind is particularly challenging, especially in these fiscally stressing times. Unfortunately, the town of Islip did not meet the threshold level for direct CARES Act funding as some towns, actually the town of Hempstead is probably the only one in the country that met that threshold level of more than 500,000 residents. We did not. So the direct funding went to the county of Suffolk, $257 million, but it never trickled down to the towns. So fortunately for us, though, the Town of Islip Community Development Agency did receive some federal funding. And this initiative today clearly falls under their mission of serving our communities. This testing site is open starting today and will offer tests by appointment only, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And now I would like to introduce our partner here, the president of Good Samaritan Hospital, Ruth Hennessey. Ruth?
Thank you very much. We really welcome the opportunity to partner with the town of Islip for this. Today I'm joined from Good Samaritan Hospital by Dr. Eric DeSena, who's our Associate Chairman for Emergency Medicine, and also by Justin Jason, who's here with us, who he gets a real shout out because actually he worked very closely hand in hand with the town of Islip to be able to set this up. So thank you, Justin, for your efforts with this. As was just mentioned, the rates are increasing. We're looking at what's happening in the hospital. 2 weeks ago, perhaps we had 5 patients that were hospitalized. This morning we had 28. The good news is that we know much more about the disease and how better to take care of it. So the incidence of critical care hospitalizations are much less than they were 3 or 4 months ago. So that's great news. But it is very important that we continue to be vigilant and continue to be tested and wash our hands and socially distant when we're out there. And we constantly focus on that in the hospital. This location in partnership is a great opportunity to be able to do that, to help us better serve the community as well. As was said earlier, we are open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., and the number is 631-376-4444. And we would request that when individuals call that number, that they let the operator know that they'd like to get COVID testing in the Brentwood location, and they'll be immediately scheduled for an appointment. So with that, I'd like to continue to offer gratitude to our partners in this, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth. You know, she's mentioned Justin. Justin is incredible. You know, you throw an idea out to Justin and it's like, okay, you know, and it happens. But certainly it happens in partnership with our department. Tom Owens, as I mentioned, is the commissioner. Deirdre is the deputy commissioner, Deirdre Waldberg, and the team in the department. And what made me feel so good this morning, one of the first things Justin said was that your guys are incredible, moving electric and doing everything that needed to be done, and like, oh, what can I do next? And that's, you know, the spirit that I find is so pervasive across the town of Islip and our family of employees. They really care about what they do. So the gentleman that heads up that department and sets the bar high and leads them well is Tom Owens, our commissioner. Tom, if you would please say a few words.
Sure. Thank you, Supervisor. So the days of just filling potholes and cutting grass are over. You know, on behalf of the town of Islip and the Supervisor and the town board, you know, we'll continue to work closely with the town board and the Supervisor to help the community, and we're honored to do so. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you so much. And again, I just want to acknowledge Deputy Commissioner Tony Prudente and our Commissioner Tony D'Amico. They too, you know, when we spoke with Justin and talked about security, our park rangers, one of the gentlemen is here this morning, they will be assisting in that traffic control and what needs to be done. So we're very appreciative of their efforts too. So I just want to remind everyone, don't let yourself or your loved ones become a statistic. We can do it. You know, Ruth said, wash your hands. You know, all those simple things that we've been saying from the beginning. If we keep doing that, we will make a difference. We're also once again reminding everyone to wear a face covering at all times, maintain that social distancing. Remember, we're in this together, just 6 feet apart. Wash your hands, get your flu shot, get your flu shot. Has everyone here had their flu shot? Let me see, raise the hands. Oh, there's a couple of hands that didn't go up. So please, you don't want COVID and you don't want the flu, and God forbid you get them together. So let's also remember the governor, he has sent a few rules down and they keep changing and we're trying to deal with them. But you know, the latest is no more than 10 people at a gathering, an indoor gathering. So with that, on behalf of all of the residents on the town board, John Cochran, town board member, and the rest of the members of the board, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. And with that, just to remember, call to schedule an appointment, 631-376-4444. Mention that you want the COVID test at the Brentwood site, and they'll set you up right away. All right, thank you so much for being here and helping get the message out to the community. It is so very important. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you.